And taking a tough stand on the black money case, the Supreme Court pulled up the centre for seeking a modification of its 2011 order wherein it had asked the government to disclose all the names. Going forward, the government's plea that it can disclose the names on the black money list only after conducting preliminary investigations to determine the illegality of these bank accounts. That determination was completely rejected by the Supreme Court yesterday, putting the government in a rather embarrassing spot. The Supreme Court also brushed aside the contentions of the Attorney General that disclosing the account holders' names would violate their right to privacy of those who have legitimate accounts. Executive Editor Javed Ansari joins us now in our Delhi studios for more on this big story. Javed, the BJP ensured that the black money case was the Congress's undoing. Is the case now unraveling for the BJP government now in the Supreme Court?
Well, there's certainly a certain amount of embarrassment as far as the tall claims of the BJP are concerned. The Supreme Court has now taken charge of the investigations, and ironically, the position that was adopted by the UPA while it was in power has been echoed by the BJP now that it is in power. They said that we can't reveal names because this will breach the confidentiality clause. This is precisely what successive finance ministers, Finance Minister Pranab Mukherjee, who is now President of India, and Mr. Chidambaram had said. But that time they were mocked at. All kinds of names were taken, insinuations made about members of the Congress leadership being involved in this, and now it just seems to be blowing up in the face of the BJP and that of the government. The the Supreme Court, extremely unhappy with the way the case is being taken forward. It's taken control, and now it's asked for the names in a sealed envelope. This does not breach the confidentiality clause, and this will also curtail and also limit the ability of those who might want to indulge in selective leaks, because now all the names are with the apex court.
Absolutely. We'll also be getting Jaskirat Singh Bawa from the Supreme Court in a short while from now. But joining us now this morning is Ashish Mehrishi. Ashish, you've been tracking this case very closely. The special investigation team that was set up, it was one of the first decisions taken by the Modi government after coming to power, the notification of that SIT that the UPA had been sitting on for quite some time now. Bring us up to speed as to where this SIT has reached in its investigations in the black money cases.
Well, the information is that around 75 cases have been investigated in around 120 days. Now, those investigations have happened. On the 30th is a review meeting of the Finance Ministry, which is going to be chaired by the Revenue Secretary. Now, the most important part here is, where the Supreme Court looks to be very, very correct as far as, the decision that was given by the Supreme Court yesterday, is that why is the government hiding this information for so many days? It has been months and months and years that this information has been there with the government, but hardly 3 names revealed, and at least out of that 1 name was in the public domain. Now here there are certain aspects we have to look at. This information which has been authenticated by the Swiss authorities is basically this is a stolen data given by the French and the German authorities to India. Now, earlier people would have denied that the account doesn't belong to them, but now that the data has been authenticated by Swiss authorities, so the person who even wishes to deny, he cannot deny. But again, now look at this aspect that the government, Enforcement Directorate had earlier written to the income tax authorities, because that is the authority which has the expertise of investigating if there is any money laundering aspect or if there is any FEMA violation. Now here, if you see, in the year 2012, this letter was written by the Enforcement Directorate to the income tax authorities to share the data. Right. But surprisingly, the parallel agency, that is Income Tax Authority, they denied Enforcement Directorate that the data has been given only for tax purposes. So who investigates the money laundering aspect? How did that money landed abroad? Now these areas need to be investigated. So here there is certainly a doubt on the way the government was functioning earlier into the investigations of black money cases.
Right, Ashish Mehrishi, they're shedding light on the total lack of coordination between the 2 agencies that are supposed to be investigating these cases. Ashish Mehrishi, you also spoke to the Swiss ambassador on the issue, who told you that the Switzerland is actively cooperating with Indian tax authorities on a case-to-case basis.
Switzerland is ready. They have given some sort of assurance to the Indian authorities that yes, they are ready to divulge some details as far as accounts being held in Switzerland. We believe that there is some flexibility in Switzerland. How far is it true, if there is any flexibility?
We certainly think that we are fully cooperating with the Indian authorities. We have a problem where it pertains to stolen data. That is certainly a problem we have. But where the Indian side can, through forensic investigation, can produce solid and robust dossiers, files, we would certainly check them through, and we would fulfill our obligations in cooperating with India.
Is it true that Switzerland has prepared some list of Indian account holders?
Switzerland is working on a case-by-case basis with the Indian authorities. So, when there is a case where a request is based on investigation on the Indian side, we will certainly examine them, and we will enter into consideration.
So that was the Swiss ambassador very clearly saying that yes, Switzerland has shown some flexibility and some details might be divulged, but they are still saying that stolen data which is stolen from different banks, they still have an issue on that. With camera person Shakil, this is Ashish Merishi reporting for Headlines Today.
We also have Deputy Editor Ashar Khan joining us live from the capital for more on the story on just how the Congress is viewing the situation. Ashar, the Congress has launched a three-pronged attack on the government, but the fact remains that there has been more movement in the case in the last 6 months than in the several years that the UPA was in power.
Well, the Congress party says that whatever is happening right now is fruition of the schemes which or the policy which the UPA government followed. Now it is culminating. That is why results are showing. And also, the thing which the Congress is actively taking on the BJP government is by constantly saying that when they were campaigning in elections, the BJP was constantly saying that within 100 days of coming to power, every black money, the entire black money will be brought back into the country. And now they say it's been about 150 days. Where is the black money? They're also asking this question to the government that they should tell the people of this country that what is the amount which they've been able to recover or got back as far as money is concerned. Thirdly, they say that this government is also following the same policy which the UPA government followed. So why were they criticizing when they were in opposition the UPA government?
Javed, Ashish was talking about the lack of coordination between the Enforcement Directorate and the IT authorities. Who else but the government is going to solve this problem? And the opposition, of course, is going to ask whether or not this is engineered chaos between the agencies.
You know, these are precisely the things that lend themselves to such kind of suspicion, that the government of the day is not keen, or perhaps it is going slow for reasons best known to it. As far as the probe is concerned, but you know, it will be in fitness of things that now that the Supreme Court has taken over, all this is in the past. Now that the Supreme Court has taken over the probe, things ought to move much faster. The Supreme Court will be monitoring. The SIT will investigate. Of course, it will be the same agencies of the government, because the Supreme Court cannot investigate something on its own. But certainly they will be monitoring the probe, and these agencies, if they are found lacking, if they are found wanting, will attract censure from the Supreme Court. So we do hope that this probe will receive a tremendous fillip, and that we will see that it will reach its logical conclusions, and those who hoarded black money abroad illegally will be brought to book.
Ashish, can we expect the Supreme Court to do that, to lay down the terms of the investigation to ensure that each of these agencies are directly answerable to it?
As per the rules set up by the highest court of the land.
Ashish, if you can hear me, my question is, can we expect the Supreme Court to ensure that each of these agencies is directly answerable to it, to do away with the eventuality, as you have also reported, of this confusion and this total lack of coordination between the two agencies that are probing the black money cases?
Very true. This can easily happen. You know, in fact, if you see the coal and the 2G investigations, which are directly happening under the purview of Supreme Court, in similar fashion, as far as black money cases goes, a nodal agency like the Special Investigation Team is already there. But the Special Investigation Team does not have that kind of expertise. It is a sort of a panel. Obviously, agency has to look into it. And in this case, it is the Enforcement Directorate which has the expertise. Now, here we have to look at how this money landed abroad. You know, is it is it a normal tax case that, you know, that somebody, a businessman or a normal businessman who doesn't want to pay taxes in India has actually stashed money abroad? Or is it terror fund? Is it proceeds of crime? Is it bribe money? All that needs to be looked at. Who is going to investigate that? But here, if you see in the garb of double taxation avoidance agreement, the government was not ready, especially the income tax department was not ready to give the data to Enforcement Directorate, saying that this is only for tax purposes. Now this is very, very surprising on how can we have an agreement with another country where another agency of ours cannot investigate on how that money landed abroad.
That was Ashish with the nitty-gritties of how really the investigation works. We also have Jaskirat Singh Bawa joining us from outside the Supreme Court. He's going to be present as and when that hearing is convened at 10:30 this morning. Jaskirat, the government is going to submit 628 names in a sealed envelope. Tell us what happens next.
Well, the Supreme Court clearly indicated yesterday that you just have to hand over the names to us, outlining the role of the government in a very strict term. They said that your job is only to request for information. Now give us the information and we will pass it on to the concerned team, to the SI team, namely, and the Income Tax Department. This is something that the government staunchly opposed at then and there in the hearing itself. First, they said that, you know, giving the information to agencies like even the CBI could be in violation of the treaties that have been signed. Then after that, they also had a slight opposition to the Supreme Court asking for those names, but finally they gave in. Finally the government conceded, and we had the Finance Minister as well as the Attorney General speaking later, saying that we will give all the names. The Supreme Court can do, of course, take it forward. Giving these names to the Supreme Court in a sealed envelope is not going to be a violation of any of those treaties, which is why the government is okay with it and is not going to oppose it that much, to the extent that they were initially opposing bringing the names out. Now, once these names are given to the Supreme Court in the sealed envelope, it's a wait and watch. The Supreme Court indicated yesterday that they will now go through it and they will pass it on to the concerned agency, the concerned investigating team, so that all the names that are in fact found to have had a disproportionate amount of black money, a disproportionate amount of money which is black money in these foreign accounts, could be segregated and could come out. Why is it going to be given in a sealed envelope? Is because there could be names or people who hold these foreign accounts but have legitimate amount of money or money from legitimate sources in them.
Right.
Their privacy has to be protected. The Supreme Court's own order 2011 has said that under the Article 21 of right to life and personal liberty, the right to privacy also comes under that, and these people have to be protected under that. Their names shouldn't just be brought out in the public domain.
Absolutely. And there has also been the question of the 2011 orders of the Supreme Court that had said that all the names need to be disclosed, but this time around names of account holders who have accounts in countries with whom India has a double taxation treaty, those names are not going to be revealed. We'll get you more details on that. The government will be revealing the names of 628 foreign account holders to the Supreme Court in a sealed envelope. We've been getting you the ground report on what really we can expect to take place in the Supreme Court as and when the hearing convenes at 10:30. We have Preeti Chaudhary joining us with the latest. Preeti, it's over to you.
Well, thank you, Abiral. 10:30 a.m. is when the proceedings will begin right behind me at the Supreme Court. Constant coverage here. We have Jaskirat, who will be going inside the Supreme Court, getting us the very latest emanating from there. Ashish Mehrishi right outside, giving us a pan perspective on what's going on. Of course, in the studio, we have our executive editor, Javed Ansari, who will be giving us the political implications of this. It was an opportunity lost by the NDA, quickly reminded by the Supreme Court yesterday. A massive wrap for the government today. In all probability, they will reveal the 628 other names in a sealed envelope. Now, what exactly transpired yesterday, which set the precedence of what we are expecting from 10:30 a.m. today, I'd like to cut across to Jaskirat, who was tracking proceedings. Jaskirat, just take us through on what exactly the learned bench said yesterday to the government.
Well, the tone was pretty much set by the Supreme Court when the Chief Justice-headed bench said that it doesn't seem like in our lifetime or in our time this objective of getting the black money or getting the information on all the accounts of the black money account holders will be revealed. So that itself indicated the Supreme Court is not very satisfied with the steps that the government has taken so far. The Supreme Court is also not very impressed with the fact the government counsel repeatedly telling them that this current regime is the first time that, and then one of the first decisions that they took was to set up the SIT on black money. Supreme Court and the Chief Justice of India clearly not impressed with that, asking the government directly to give all the names in less than 24 hours, with the government finally conceding to that request. Also going to the extent of, and I quote the Chief Justice over here, that just because the new regime cannot just come in over here and tell us to modify our existing order. That order is perfectly fine, and it is something that will remain untouched, and that is a 2011 historic black money order. So the government, of course, conceding to the Supreme Court's demand and revealing all names today.
All right, and that will happen in a sealed envelope. Trust headlines today. Jaskirat Singh Bawa will be inside the Supreme Court getting us a minute-to-minute update. Various developments taking place on the sidelines of what's going to start at about 10:30 a.m. right here in the Supreme Court. The latest that we are getting in at this point of time is the notable body ED is at loggerheads with the Income Tax Department of India, primarily because the ED says that the Income Tax Department of India hasn't shared the information that they've been asking from the ED ever since this black money list, this controversial, infamous black money list landed in India. And for that information, I'd like to cut across to Ashish Merushi, who's standing outside. Ashish, can you take us through exactly the latest that you're getting in from the Enforcement Directorate?
Well, Preeti, if you remember, this black money list landed in India, in the end of around 2010 and in the beginning of 2011, and it was due to this that this order of Supreme Court was also passed, that very clearly suggesting that the people who have stashed black money abroad, their names need to be revealed, and we also have to bring back that black money. But again, who is the investigating agency which is going to look into it? The list that came to the Finance Ministry, it was given to the Central Board of Direct Taxes, which is the nodal agency for income tax. Now here you have to see that income tax authorities can only investigate the tax angle, and the double taxation avoidance agreement has also been used as a cushion. Now here, when the letter went from Enforcement Directorate to the income tax authorities, the reply that came was that this is only for tax purposes. The double taxation avoidance agreement says that you can use this list only for tax purposes. Now, surprisingly, if how this money has landed abroad, who's going to investigate that? Is it proceeds of crime? Is it a normal tax case? These angles needs to be looked into, and there is a nodal agency that we have. And surprisingly, since this list came into India, the nodal agency does not have that list. So who is investigating and what is being investigated? It is very, very surprising.
All right, Ashish, stay with us. Ashish Merushi will also, we're going to come back right in 2 minutes. We're going to slip into a quick break. We'll break down for us on what those other 628 names mean. Are all those bank accounts illegal? Or, we're going to talk about that. Ashish is going to give us perspective on that. Jaskirat, on what exactly is going to go right behind us at the Supreme Court at 10:30 a.m. is when the hearing is going to begin. We have our executive editor back in the studio, Javed Ansari. A big opportunity lost by the NDA government. They could have done it on their own. Now they have been forced to do it by the Supreme Court to reveal the list of the bank holders of black money. We will keep getting you the vantage position on this story, pan perspective, back in 2 minutes. Do stay with us.